today's lecture and finish it over. So my first topic will be the exoplanet and exploration. So recently, that NASA has sent their own James Webb Space Technology, which is a satellite, to the Proxima B. If you know, it is the neighborhood of the most nearest uh, exoplanet that ever existed in the solar system of our universe. So the James Webb Space Telescope. Actually, it's a satellite which is named on a telescope space scientist by NASA. In 2019, a scientist named Smith Shane has discovered radio frequency over a communicator that receives the NASA space station in Australia. So from 2019, the Australia Parkes Muriang telescope, which detected the Alpha Centauri B and Proxima B, has an exoplanet or a living planet, as we can say. It is a very unstable ecosystem right now because the Proxima Centauri B, that is the son of the Alpha Centauri B, is currently a sun, which is actually a very unstable and where it requires very high amount of UV rays, X-rays, which send over 1,000 times as our sun, and which is very unstable to livable planet in some sort of case because you will understand how this theory works in the end. So the undergraduate students detected a signal from Proxima B Centauri. How we pinpoint that Proxima B Centauri? It is the reason that the situation and the region where he was located on the Australian planet, Australian state, sorry. Thus, this signal has been detected was 928 megahertz. That is an artificial signal which is transferred and transmitted, received by human being. This signal is only used by rockets, satellites from all over the world. So in the beginning, you would have think that it might be an old signal from a old satellite or a bounce back because universe is a vacuum itself. So the waveforms there work differently as in our like our mother nature. This signal may be a bounce back, but if it was a bounce back, then signal would be disrupted for a few frequency of time, not for a longer. This signal was detected over 30 hours when it was started and ended at the point. So that how they pinpointed it, it was actually a we need to be we need to learn some Kepler's theory. If you see the Earth rotates and revolves on the particular tidal path of the solar system. So if a person is living in the northern region, then he won't be able to see Centauri B planet system from telescope. He will never see in his whole life how Centauri Proxima looks like even. So if you are living in Delhi right now, you have to adjust your telescope to 29 degrees to the center of equator from the northern side. So it will be a specific, you can see the constellation, not even the planet itself, because the constellation forms a theoretical view, as we can also say in the case of Ursa Major for detecting the um, north pole of the stars. So the project was named on Breakthrough Listen Candidate 1, BLC1, which means that Proxima B is considered to be a planet, but according to the theory of Kepler's, it is an only exoplanet, Earth-like characteristics that may be habitable. That may be habitable, but it is not proved yet because theory is very different. As you can see, it is far from, as light years are very far from here. To travel a light year, we need, even if you have to travel 4 light years, we need 10 times nuclear power explosion so we can actually accelerate a rocket to Proxima Centauri. As you can see here in the sun's closest neighborhoods. If you want to see Proxima Planet B, as I mentioned, it is 20 degrees from the equator in the northern region, which is possibly the most effective angle to detect the constellation. But it is still be a near impossible because in Delhi the population pretty huge and pollution obviously where population is huge, pollution also comes and more vehicles, more fuel is burnt over there, and it is very hard to say that pollution in India is pretty bad according to other countries. Most of the top five states and the cities that comes under highest pollution category is from India, and Delhi is one of them. So current rating of pollution is 190, 159 over there. So this is understandable that the Alpha Centauri planet, as you can see, it has its own tidal connection. If you have seen, latestly I have talked with the ISRO scientist Satish Chandra. He was the former scientist of ISRO and he worked on Chandrayaan, as you remember. So the entire course was there to visit a dark side of planet Moon. Why it was very important? Because the other side is never seen by human beings. Same is Proxima Centauri b. Why they pinpointed it? Because the habitability and its atmosphere, which is exactly like Earth. So according to them, there might be a light because it was further detected by the James Webb telescope that there is a light. So if light is a form, then there might be a living organism which provides the equation of life. So why Mars cannot be? What I think, as it was a very discussion in the Royal Society right now, why Mars cannot be a living planet because of the chain of hydrocarbons. If there is a chain of hydrocarbons, there might be a space for living organisms. If there is a space for living organisms, then we can be exist in there. So, getting forward to it, the, so the Proxima Centauri b has two planetary systems and two dwarf stars which revolve around it. And in March 2017, it was detected that the X-rays that Proxima Centauri b is projecting, it was 1,000 times for 10 seconds, which is if it was same happens in the sun, we would have get a burns of 30, and it spreads like rapidly, which is ionized lights and ionized vapors, harmful things will have been consequences. So after all of this theory, what they said, like if you see the Alpha Centauri planet, it's a tidal wave, has two tidal effects, and this is the smallest dwarf star. This is the planet Centauri, and these are the two tidal exoplanets. So then, after seeing all these theories, the Shane Smith was named as a DLC1, as I said before. This thing was very capable planetary system that James Webb Telescope is. In future, maybe it is possible to live. As the as our solar system is getting older and older, the entire magnetic and gravitational force will disperse in the universe accordingly. So if the sun is getting older, so there are two possibilities. Either it will either heat will be absorbed by itself and the entire planet, then we don't have a sun. But it is very rare chance and it's millions of years from what we even might consider. But the other theory is that maybe sun can get bigger and bigger. So there, why Earth is livable? Because it is a third planet of our solar system. It has the exact conditions, ecosystem, and ozone layers that requires to be a habitable planet. And the same theory is with the Centauri planet, approximately. It has everything that we have, but to reach there, it's very far. Still, it is the very nearest planet of our solar system. After all of this discussion and conclusion, Francis Morris is a former ESA scientist and City Institute of Technology is a professor over there for astronomer. According to him, there are 300 billion exoplanets out there in the galaxy. The possibility of having same configuration satellite is amazing on its own theory. We are talking here about like parallel universe. There might be a planet where it exists a parallel planet. Like if that signal, let's say that signal might be true, that they receive that signal might be an alien signal, we can say. So it would be a possibility of parallel universe because that signal that came only comes from a satellite or a space rocket. It was 928 megahertz. So it was very specific frequency that was emitting from there. So there might be a chance that it may be existable, a parallel universe out there. So this concluded by the uh, Francis of this technology and the radio signal that he was currently working on. Further, when it was noticed, as you can see in this diagram over here, that there is a light. It was an actually graphical projection, but it was same as it we predicted. The entire photo was clicked by the James Webb Telescope in 2019. The satellite was at the Proxima B Centauri. They investigated that there is an artificial light illuminating from the Proxima B, the dark side. So let's say for an example, if uh, as we have lived like I'm 20 year, 21 year right now, and I see moon every night. So there is a dark side of moon also that we haven't seen in years. Even even if I move to America or Australia, we cannot see the other side of the moon. Same deals with the Proxima B. There is a dark side of Proxima B which cannot be seen by its own sun. So there might be possible of habitable, but how much it is, we'll discuss it in later. By computing the light curves of the planet, it is a hot star which was illuminating the light. So the luminance. So there are two categories that they define light: luminous and non-luminous. So luminous have its own, and non-luminous doesn't have their own light. So let's say, for example, thousands, millions of years ago, our Earth doesn't have human existence, but still there it was full of lava volcanoes flowing around the Earth, and it was surfaced. So how it's changed exactly? The changes would have done by we can say that these all of these theories were self-built, or maybe they do not have an exact accurate data to detect it. But we can say that organisms who develop human life are the uh, form of living organism, or we can say a form of light, fire. If you can create a fire, you can live there. Same theory that NASA detected that fire might be a chance of hydrocarbon theory that maybe Mars can be a livable planet. But the structure and the soil components on Mars is not the same as possible. So there might be some limitations uh, over the period of research and for the further notification. And let's see how they took their R&D to the next level so that they can make Mars a livable planet. As far as this theory went, the astronomers over NASA space station were said that this might be like inside a deep. If let's say if there is a Earth, if Earth has a fish, and that fish is underwater, does it require a light to travel? Does it mean it has its own artificial light? No, because they have their own luminance light that they can develop develop it by their own chemical. If you can look at like seals and seahorse, they have their own luminance light deep down the ocean. So might be there is 5% to the 85% chance that this can be a living planet, or an alien or other life is predictable over there. Moving forward, so this is what I am talking in the later, that if, as you can see, this is our Earth. If say this is a northern hemisphere, this is the southern hemisphere, if this is the equator, you have to be 29 degrees on the upper northern region, which it will be near near to Uttar Pradesh to Delhi, and you can only see this Centauri constellation. because it might be a possible, but still it is near to impossible. So after all this conclusion, I talked to the National Geography scientist over there for the discussion of further notice. What they said was this, like if you can see the if you can see the entire Creeper's law theory, that they said if we have to get there, the first reason is getting over there. How it will be possible? The possibility of that. Take it an example. You climb up a mountain, fire a gun at a very high velocity of parabolic theory, and that orbit will go up to the outer space, which will put it up to 700 kilometers over the Earth's atmosphere, which may be orbiting our Earth. So the same theory was discussed with the exoplanet. Is it possible to get over there? Maybe, maybe not, because the theory of uranium and the nuclear physics was very difficult to compromise in the space structure and the space environment. It is actually the space has never been cold itself. It is actually doesn't have a temperature. Many people used to say that space have temperatures, but it doesn't because it is a vacuum entirely. If it is vacuum, then there might not be a temperature. Why we feel cold over there? Due to the black side and the sun rays. Sun rays that doesn't directly put up into the space. So is it possible to fly a drone in space? No, because there is no air. So if there is no air, so it could be possibly it is cold. So moving on to the discussion. Recently, I have published a theory, and that theory was it was funded by the Munich University and my own university or Department of Research and Development on the optimization of aerodynamics of the aerofoil. So, how lift of aerofoil has been decided? As we know, if you are studying in aerospace, then there are very different types of aerofoil, like a 4 series, 6 series. So, these all theories were done by the NASA in the 19s when there were so many attempts of flying conditions were done. Even they try to fly a human being into the space without even having extensive uh, deep research on that. There was an event before the Galileo was there before the Wright brothers that a man jumped from the tower to only show that he can fly. So how we can predict that even the definition of left isn't defined very well. So moving forward, what is rate of climb? We define it as RC is equal to V infinity sine theta. The vertical component of the rate of climb is depend upon the raw power of the combination of weight, and the higher the thrust, the lower the drag. If the drag is lower, the lower the weight, it lower the weight and better rate of climbing, which is RC is equal to excessive power by W. W is the weight of the W is the weight of the entire payload, and we have also heard the service ceiling and the absolute ceiling. There is a limitation in mid 21. Recently, one of my college senior was in the Air Force and he joined Air Force. Recently, was working on the 21 assembly line to upgrade its own capacity. So they found that subsidy was a bit low in that case because that's why they were using afterburner is one thing using because it needs a high potential boost to reference the aircraft into the system where it cannot be projected by the other enemy. So my project was based look like this. If you can see here, this is the ANSYS data and it is a patented. You can see that this is the aerofoil of NACA 0012, which is a symmetric aerofoil, and there's a single slit between these. The entire chord length was 1 meter, and why we choose 1 meter? Because it's a standard ISO certified and ITAR certified value that is IO certified value and ITR value, because we need to introduce it in a way that it should be uh, possible in real life. If there is a fund of maybe in future if there is a fund to make it happen, then it will be used both in a subsonic maintenance, our college and subsonic maintenance, which is very accurate to be on its basis of manometer and other conditional these other way. And if you can, if you see, the entire project was based on two NACA series. We also used a 6-digit number, which is 63012, where one is a high flow, which is equals to 1, and it was it was non-laminar, ISO 6 series. We all did this in a exofoil condition waves, which is 54.23 uh, meter per second flying conditions, and the research was pretty excessively good. So if you have any questions or any things that you need to ask, you are free to ask. That's all from my side. And thanks for joining this session, because I'm late, because I'm very busy these days. I'm working on my projects and all. So if you have any questions, you are free to ask.
Thank you, Golsar, for this wonderful presentation. I think we can move on to our Q&A session. So participants, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask Golsar, turning on your mic, or you can also write in the chat and we'll read out the questions.
So any resources for aerodynamics? Sure, I do have. I will compile it for you from basics to the advanced level, which I used to get from MIT and Harvard, because there is a you should if you are on LinkedIn, they are pretty aggressive over there. You can find these groups and they will also share. There is a teacher named Charles. I don't know his full name. He's an MIT Solent teacher. He used to put his notes and theories on the LinkedIn. You should join him. You will get everything. So, what is the best habitable zone found yet? So, if you see the entire theory, there might be a chance Venus, because it was very uh, one which was very predicted once before very earlier stage, that they said that Venus might be one, because Jupiter cannot be, because it has a gaseous planet. What I think is Venus can be, if if there is an atmospheric pressure over it. So if there is a form of clouds and atmospheric pressure, it is already a livable planet. If you see the entire research, but the only thing that standing us behind was the atmosphere. Proxima B has it all, including the atmosphere, the living organisms, conditions, everything. Even if you found Neptune has its methane gas formulation all over the planet, and it is blue in color, which is a form of ice debris over there. Why Venus is hotter than Mercury? So the entire gaseous theory again. Mercury has its own conditions. If you see the methane problem, if you see the Neptune have its own uh, Neptune has its own condition, and it is far from here. And Venus is hotter, and it has a thick trap, which is also good for greenhouse effect, for uh, good greenhouse effect to be let's say for plants. And yeah, I know it is pretty tough there. It is 930 degrees Celsius hotter, then it might be a green effect over there. That's why I said it needs atmospheric pressure. If it has atmospheric pressure and clouding conditions, it is a livable planet.
So someone have asked, sir, what will Arya R have asked, sir, what will make Earth go to an end? So can you please?
So what Earth makes go to an end? See, this is a very accurate, good question actually. This was also raised in the community over there when there will be an end of Earth. Yes, it is possible. Why? Because the Centauri planet has the core which is very hot in its own self. As the Earth will get old and old, if you see the Earth rotating speed is becoming slow. Even if you haven't noticed the recent position that was mentioned by the NASA that Earth is moving slower than it is expected to be, which will cause the effect of ecosystem, which will unbalance the ecosystem. If ecosystem will fall, human nature will fall. If human nature will fall, the entire nature will get in problem. This was the same happened in the Uranus also. Uranus was predicted to be the red. It was a blue red whale. They also named it as a red whale planet because there is a huge red whale design on the Uranus, which was way back in I would say in 1998, I guess they have found that red whale mark on the Uranus, which was said to be a blast that is occurred between two planets. So there is an end, or after all, it is an Earth. It is getting old, and Earth will get old enough. There won't be a place. So if someone lives 1,000 years, like millions of years, Earth will get old. So that's why we need to change or we need to move or we need to concentrate our population on the earth. That's why there are many circumstances. Even if in China, if you go, there is one child policy, and that is the same is implementing in India also. The earth will get old enough to be a livable planet. So yeah, there will be an end of earth. So thanks for having me, and I would like to speak more, but due to some so yeah, there is something. Actually, no, it is cannot. It can't be possible. It needs a super. If you see, China developed its own sun. They actually developed their own sun. It's pretty amazing that how they did it, but they did it, and I don't know how because Chinese item are never last for long, and I don't know how they created it and how lost it will move. But yes, we cannot save it because it's moving at a rapid speed. It's the Earth moves at 800 miles a second, so it's very fast. If it stops at a second, it will fall out of building. I will burst into the wall that I'm facing right now. So yeah,
So Logesh have asked, what are all the possibilities to explore exoplanets from an for an amateur astronomer? Many institutions campaigns conducting how to explore, but can any individual explore?
so yes, there is possible. See, there is actually research. There is actually research going on in the northern region of. It was in Canada, I guess. I don't know the exact place name. That they're developing a what they used to say. a nuclear-based engine. It was, I don't know the exact name of that project, what they're calling it, but they are developing an engine which can go up to 10 Mach. So even if we achieve that kind of velocity, it would take us at least 2 years to travel from one to jump off our what we say solar planet or solar system to jump away from solar system. So it is very sustainable even if they create the nuclear engine. So right now to predict that thing is very uncertain and very concentrating to be put an end to it. So there is another question. What is rotation speed decreasing? Why it is? Actually, the rotation speed, why it is slowing down. The reason is due to dam. Dam is also very being consolidated because back in the day when there was a survey that happened in ITSS, I would say International Bureau of Space Agency, that was developed by the London Institute of University and Imperial University, that they also predicted that the making of dams and flowing of the water is affecting the Earth's planet. The actual speed of the Earth planet was around 928.78 miles per second, which was reduced to 800 miles per second approximately. Now it is being slower. Though, although the as you see, the moon is also a tidal planet of Earth, which is a satellite planet or a star. You can say it is. If if the gravitational force become less, this might be happening. There may be multiple possibilities why it is happening. It is even a cause of asteroid rainfall that was during the dinosaurs age. So yes, there might be possible. So there is a question from Bala Sukesh that will tilt of the planet affect the planet? I didn't get the actual question because we are tilting every time. You cannot say like we cannot tilt. So I didn't get the actual question. Share some resources that sure, sure, I will definitely. So may I ask you about where do you live? So I am currently living in India. Actually, I live in a remote area right now due to certain reasons I cannot explain to you. It's bit confidential and I cannot explain you. But I live in Kerala right now and I'm doing a open research project with universities and other scientists over there. It is same as a citizen scientist as you can say, but there are pretty a huge number of people who are interested in it. I would be, if it is possible, I will give you every resource and guides and books that I have read and I did my BTech and also helping me to grab knowledge of all of this. So if it is possible, I will definitely share the Marina part, the head of aerospace.
Devjit, they Sarkar have asked, is there any star near the solar system which may go to supernova explosion? If it happens, then how will it affect Earth and solar system?
So, so as far as I see that there is no such star near 50 light years approximately that can affect supernova explosion and possess the Earth. So it is very it is not even possible. Like 50 light years is very far from it. We can face some degrees and effects, but we cannot be included in it. So it is not possible. So my LinkedIn is same as my name, Golsar Akash. You can search my name as same as this. You will find my photos over there. My university is mentioned as an aerospace engineer. So thanks all of you, and I would like to talk more, but I do not have much time. Thanks having me, and thanks for conducting this entire session.
It was
Thank you,
our
and
pleasure, Golsar, having you here with us today. So first
thank
of
you.
all, thank you for this wonderful presentation. I think our participants really learned a lot from this session. And also, I want to thank all our participants for joining us today and supporting us throughout the session and making this session a successful one. And also, before leaving, I want to mention that 20th of September, we will be launching an event called Virtual Rocket Designing Challenge, registration of which will be starting soon. And so don't forget to visit our website, www.hexstaruniverse.com on 20th. And also we will inform you about this event on our WhatsApp groups. So before leaving, I would love to ask everyone to turn on their camera once so that we can take a picture for our memory purpose. Thank you everyone for joining this session. And with this, we can end our session here for today. Thank you everyone. And you may leave now.
Thank you once again. Thanks for having me.